Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you for watching. How you guys been doing? How was your weekend? My weekend, so far it was okay. I think it was okay because I didn't get into any car accident. I didn't get into anything super crazy. I'm healthy. Um, I'm not where I want to be in life, but let's say the least, man. I'm a lot better than most people, man, who in this country who's going to immigration stuff, who going to medical stuff. So for me, my life is okay. Um, Give me a second as I try to prop up this alive. Man, it's getting a little warm here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for staying with me, guys. Um, we did locate in that area. Sorry. Man, it's warm. I literally want to do this video. It's so warm. I want to do the video fucking with no shirt on. I'm so warm. But but it's summertime though, guys. It's summertime. But I digress. Yeah, guys. How's everything going? Um, let's start with what's been going on in the entertainment world today with and also in um in the news today. Let's start with a little news with Trump. It's never a adult moment when it comes to Trump. Um uh 1 second. Okay. Like I said, it's never an adult moment when it comes to Trump. Um During Saturday this weekend when there was a little beef going on at the public. No, this what was it? When was that? When the last day I worked? Saturday, guys. I think I made the video Saturday, man. There was a big manhunt for a disturbing individual in Minnesota who shoot a shoot both a state representative and let me go back to a different page where I can start show that who should both a state representative and also who who should a damn where's that video, man? That shit has been a lot of posts. Yeah, a suspect man should both a state representative by Melissa Hartman and a state senator, both lawmakers were Democrat, and the suspect, whose name was been identified as Vance Bolter, carried out this um, this criminal act where that left a one uh, lawmaker died with her husband, which was Melissa Ford. It's a very unfortunate situation, man. All is wrapped up by the whole, Trump uh, crazy propaganda in this country. Bro, for those who doesn't understand, you would think Trump been president, guys, been president for more than 4 months, for 6 months. Trump been only president, guys, for just only 6 months. And the amount of heinous thing that's been going on, man, it's just mind-boggling. 4 months that we almost went to a we almost went to a um recession in the middle of 6 months from a good economy that was going viral during during Biden, to like a downfall, more with so many tariffs, making food price go a lot more than what people was expected. That's not why people voted for him in the first place, because people thought things was expensive under Biden, but putting Trump and things are only getting worse and more crazier. War out about this country. This country friends are turning their back because America cannot keep their friend anymore, and eventually, thankfully, that this individual was able to capture. Um, Beside that, this weekend with this whole crime that happened, then there was a whole parade going on. Doing, Trump had a whole parade with what the hell? Everything is going on, man. Where can I show my video? What's going on? Can't make my video because I can't even see no stuff I'm looking for. Um, but damn, um, man, I'm losing my train of thought. Um, After that, there was a parade in DC where there was a parade in DC because it was just the 250th anniversary of the army, and Trump like spent $45 million to get his own parade, like Kim Jong Un in China and Russia, and things were going crazy during that time, and it was a chaos. There wasn't a lot of people show up, so a lot of Trump wasn't too happy about that. Even after that, while that's going on, I mean, you got people killing, got lawmaker getting died. Trump out here making um, Trump out here getting his own parade, um, and also you got Republican elected official making fun of elected official, Democrat elected official died, and it was just, and also at the same time on Saturday during the weekend, at the same time, um, um, well, the video, um, Israel decided to strike. Israel decided to strike. Um, Israel decided to strike. This is the suspect who killed. This is the individual that killed the elected official. But doing all that, right? Doing all that, Israel um, decided to launch attack on Iran before kind of insinuate that for self-defense and for protect themselves. So therefore, they had to attack first before Iran attacked them. So then you got Trump kind of like insinuate is 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 Iran for they not come to the table quicker. Um, it was a hot mess, man. So you had like the news world was going crazy over so many strike between Iran and and uh, and, 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 and Israel, and you have um, lawmaker getting killed. You got parade going on. So it's just a hot mess going on right now, as you can see. Um, I, I don't even know where to even start. And when it comes to today, you got the whole Diddy trial, guys. Oh, and also doing Father's Day on Sunday. uh, um, um, you got 50 Cent decided to start fighting with his son. Well, first he started making fun of his baby mama Daphne, say about the whole situation, calling her B word left, right, and right. And then his son Marcus got into it and talking about father who only been father to social media, and to where 50 Cent clapping back, talking about you better be careful. You and your mama are out here causing a scam, kind of insinuate so they can the Fed can come after them for getting so-called PPP loan, and maybe they need to check on them and stuff like that. Yeah, thing is getting crazy when your own father try to have you arrested for it's something you possibly did not do. Um, That's why, guys, I probably never want to be in 50 Cent bad side, because 50 Cent is one of those people, man. I don't even know if he have a heart. He do because he loves his son, but beside that, okay, I don't want to care about that.
You're not getting a happy Father's Day out of me, you fucking fat monkey bitch. You ain't been in my life for all these years, but you get on the internet talking about some, oh, no snow bunnies. Fuck out of here, dickhead. You're not getting shit.
Oh shit, I gotta watch out for the language. That's the Umar daughter. She's a lovely young woman, and she lovely young woman. Um, so that happened, and in the whole Diddy trial
What we
today,
saw, young
bro, in the Diddy trial today, to where they're showing the freak out video to the jurors, um, and for the women jurors, um, they're mostly elderly. They don't seem too happy with it. But when they come to the male juror, one of them was laughing, right? One of them seemed to be laughing, and before they even trial start, right? Before even the trial start, they were I remember. I think I saw already say that before in an early video where they kicked one of the juror off, which Diddy was hoping to did not get kicked off. So you got juror kick off, then um you got a short freak off video, um and also um what was the third thing? Okay, Diddy, it kind of like show video. I think I'm just repeated stuff. I don't know if I said it. A video about asking Cassie for a free call, so kind of insinuate it was a forceful majority of the time, this, that, and the third. So that happened, bro. Today, bro, it was just a lot of mess. So my thing wasn't kind of organized well, so I can show all the stuff that I wanted to talk about. Um, yeah, in that post right there, um, text message showed that Diddy was literally asking Cassie, "Do you want to have freak off for Christmas?" But who want to have Christmas freak off on Christmas? That's time you spend with your kids. Instead, you want to spend freak off with some random dude smashing your girl. Very disturbing, very, very disturbing people, rich people, man. But I digress. Um, then today also Trump came in with his own form, guys. Bro, Trump, bro, this guy just got as a president. I don't even know you can like selling shit like crazy beside a book. But usually most presidents write a book after their presidency, not while they're president. But this guy is. building hotels in other countries that he built there for his family. Um, well, is breaking all the rules, doesn't think he's belonging, should create parade as a dictator, and kind of like hoping to be like Kim Jong Un doing a audio call by accident where they were where he and talking about he doesn't feel like he's a king because there's a lot of law he wanna pass. He has to go to um he have to go to loop hoops to get it done, and kind of like executive that he take sometimes doesn't go well for his agenda. So he said he doesn't feel like a king. Well, you don't mean like you should say, I said no, I'm not a king, but you should like say I doesn't feel like a king. But I digress. You guys think he's gonna be he's the king. Now he could be if he stay longer than he's supposed to. If he stay longer than he's supposed to. So we shall see. We shall see. Um, Besides bringing a phone, um, oh, there's a whole thing about um, the whole thing about Drake perform in Canada. So he performed back to back in Canada, and you got a lot of Canadian was going to the concert, was going happy for it, but but you got a lot of Canadian was going the sold out concert, but did a lot did people wasn't too happy because people was showing up and singing all those songs about Drake, and also Kendrick did not sleep in Canada, kind of like sleep in New York. The DJ Academy was showing how Drake kind of scared because he sleep in New York, but in during the concert he drove back to Canada for security purposes. He was supposed to stay at Nobu, but he ended up not staying at Nobu no more. He showed up with his goons. But I don't know how crazy this guy been arrested multiple times, but he's showing on social media like bro, that shit is crazy, crazy to me. This guy caused so many harm to people, but he's still acting on social media like he can be touched. But I digress. Okay, and even today, so Trump was at G7 today, and he left G7. I'm guessing he didn't like the way they wasn't too happy the way he's handling the Middle East. Let's hear about them.
Let me tell you why we have spectrum.
Let's cut the audio.
I'm on a video chat. Melissa's live stream with her audience. The kids are on their phone streaming while gaming. What screen are you paying attention to?
CNN's Caitlin Collins, who's in Canada with the president, got word that he's cutting his trip short there from the G7 and returning to Washington tonight, further amplifying the notion that the U.S. may be getting involved in the fight. We don't know for sure yet. In addition to all of that, there was this today from Israel's prime minister saying he would not rule out a strike on Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei.
So are you going to target the supreme leader?
Look, we're doing what we need to do. I'm not going to get into the details, but we've targeted their top nuclear scientists. It's basically Hitler's nuclear team.
But U.S. officials tell us that the president flatly rejected a plan, an opportunity that the Israelis had to take out the supreme leader. Do you understand his concern? My understanding is his concern is that this would escalate the conflict beyond where it is already.
It's not going to escalate the conflict. It's going to end the conflict.
That conflict so far has taken at least 24 lives in Israel, 224 in Iran, according to authorities in each country. But it's that evacuation warning from the president tonight and what it could mean, which starts us off. CNN Chief White House correspondent Caitlin Collins is in Canada, has some new reporting on it. She joins us from Calgary, Alberta. What is the White House saying about President Trump's declaration that everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran, and then the word that he's coming back to the White House?
Yeah, Anderson, it's hard to see how those are not tied together because the White House specifically cited what is happening in the Middle East for why President Trump is cutting his trip here in Canada short. I flew with President Trump on Air Force One yesterday. He arrived late last night in Calgary to head to this summit with world leaders. He had an entire day of meetings scheduled for tomorrow, including a meeting, I should note, with the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky as well, and on that list of everything that these leaders were going to talk about. But the White House has decided to cut this trip short so the president can return to Washington tonight, citing exactly what is happening inside the Middle East. We've talked to officials about the president's post on Truth Social earlier that everyone who lives in Tehran should evacuate. Obviously, that is millions of people, Anderson, and a quite urgent warning from the president of the United States. One official said it just reflected the reality of the situation of trying to get Iran to the table as they are trying to sort this out, with the president still voicing confidence that some kind of deal with Iran could be made after obviously those talks kind of fell apart or entirely fell apart after Israel first struck Iran late last week. And so,
but if you are somebody who try to build a nuclear weapon, after this happened, and you feel like you cannot be protecting your people, do you think you will sit down and negotiate? No, you will probably still want to have a nuclear weapon because it seems like that's the only thing that can possibly protect you from, constantly getting attacked. But I digress.
Anderson, we're still talking to people and trying to figure out what this means and why there is this newfound sense of urgency to the president returning to Washington to go and meet with his team. We did see several of his national security members who were there in Washington earlier. That includes the vice president, the Joint Chiefs chairman, who were meeting at the White House, in addition to announcements from the defense secretary, Pete Hegseth, about some aircraft carrier movement as they're basically posturing to make sure they're protecting the U.S. forces who are in the region right now. I will note one person who's here on the trip with President Trump is the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. I'm told he's been briefing him throughout the day on the latest and the updates that we've been seeing. And the president has also had several conversations with the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu. And so everyone is watching, obviously, what is happening in the Middle East and also why the president's cutting his trip short, his trip.
So you got that part, Trump cutting his G7, and also the amount of Israeli getting killed so far.
This went from being my least favorite dresser to being my favorite dresser. Compliments of all-in-one paint. This went from being...
Yes.
I think we're doing pretty well. We're talking. We have a thing called a telephone, so we're talking. But it's always better to talk in person. I want to see no nuclear weapon in Iran. And we're well on our way to making sure that happens.
We're back with our world lead. That was President Trump with Prime Minister Keir Starmer just moments ago at the G7 summit in Canada, talking about what it will take to end the fighting between Iran and Israel. Now, earlier today, the president told reporters he believes Iran would, quote, like to talk about de-escalating its conflict with Israel, noting that Iran, in his words, quote, not winning this war. Israel started attacking Iran's nuclear facilities and top military leaders on Friday, local time Thursday evening here in the U.S. The attacks have since expanded to include Iranian oil and other military facilities. The Iranians have responded by firing waves of ballistic missiles and drones at Israel, hitting, among other targets, Haifa and Tel Aviv. Now, these are among the day's most dramatic images. Israel hit Iranian state TV during a live broadcast. The Israeli military says the building housing Iran state TV studios was being used by Iranian armed forces under the guise of civilian activity, adding it sent an advance warning advising civilians to get out of the way. In Israel itself, at least 24 people have been killed and nearly 600 injured since the fighting started last week. CNN's Jeremy Diamond is in Tel Aviv, where shaken residents are taking cover, hearing explosions then emerging to check the damage.
This is what surviving an Iranian ballistic missile attack looks like. Amid wrecked cars and scattered debris, this central Tel Aviv neighborhood engulfed in flames as rescuers arrive on the scene. For the third night in a row, Iranian ballistic missiles struck the Tel Aviv area. We arrived minutes later as people emerged, shaken but alive, from their bomb shelters. This man arrived distraught to inspect the damage to his shop. We came here and everything was destroyed, he tells me. After an hour-long wait, a boyfriend's anxious wait turns into a loving embrace.
Yeah, you can feel it. It goes through you.
Even inside their shelters, people here felt the power of the blast.
Like smoke, like a really strong. I had to cover my nose with a t-shirt.
And were overwhelmed by the smoke-filled air as they emerged. The shockwave broke windows and damaged homes blocks away from the impact. But at the epicenter, where rescue crews continue to pour in and out of the scene, it is another level of destruction altogether.
This is the devastation caused by an Iranian ballistic missile that struck this Tel Aviv neighborhood in the early hours of this morning. And you can see all around me what that looks like. These buildings that have been torn to shreds, vehicles wrecked from the missile.
At least 5 Iranian missiles penetrated Israeli air defenses, according to Israeli rescue services, killing 10 people on Sunday night. In Iran, a widening Israeli bombardment campaign driving people to flee the capital city, as jets strike not only military and nuclear facilities, but also economic targets and residential neighborhoods. More than 200 people have been killed in the Israeli strikes, according to the Iranian Health Ministry, which says a majority of the victims are civilians. I'm scared, says this woman whose home was damaged in a strike. My heart is pounding. I felt like my heart stopped.
And Phil, with no diplomatic off-ramp in sight, this deadly tit-for-tat between Israel and Iran seems likely to continue. The Israeli prime minister tonight saying that he believes Israel has already significantly set back Iran's nuclear program, saying that Israel is, quote, sending them back a very, very long time. He refused to elaborate, but he also made clear that Israel still has many more targets to strike in Iran. Phil?
Our thanks to CNN's Jeremy Diamond for that.
Your car insurance company hopes that you never find this site, but now you can stick it to them. Listen, your car insurance company might charge you more because of things you can't control, like your age.
President Trump is in Canada for the G7 summit with huge implications on things like trade deals, but also a brewing war. This could be extremely fraught, with some U.S. allies wondering if Donald Trump is with them or against them. All the while, the G7 nations grappling with the threat of the potential of an all-out war in the Middle East. CNN's chief data analyst, Harry Enton, with me right now. All right, with so many things that are sort of heavily weighing over this summit, what are you learning about what the people of these countries think about Donald Trump and whether he is with or against them?
Yeah, I think that this title slide says it all, why Trump faces a tough room at the G7. That is because the countries outside the U.S. who are part of the G7, those folks, not big fans of Donald Trump. Not big fans at all. No confidence Trump will do the right thing when it comes to world affairs. Look at this. All these numbers are at least at 60% or above. You could start off here at the bottom, Japan 61, the UK 62. You go to that next row, Italy 68. We're getting higher and higher and higher. Canada 77. And finally, France 78%. And Germany, 81% of Germans have no confidence that Donald Trump will do the right thing when it comes to world affairs. We're looking at a supermajority in all 6 of these G7 countries besides the U.S. They do not like Donald Trump. They have no confidence in him to do the right thing when it comes to world affairs. And I think that will inform some of the leaders there in those countries going into this G7 summit with Donald Trump. And again, he's just going to face a tough room because those folks in those countries, they don't really like Donald Trump.
How much has this changed since Trump was elected?
Yeah, this is, I think you see all these numbers here and you go, okay, has this always been the case that there's been such low confidence in the U.S. leader? Take a look here. Okay, no confidence that the U.S. president will do the right thing when it comes to world affairs. We're going to look at a median of those 6 countries that we just saw on the other side. You see it here. In 2025, 73%, the median in those countries have no confidence that Donald Trump will do the right thing when it comes to world affairs. With Joe Biden, look how much lower that number was. It was basically 50-50 at 51%. So the percentage of those G7 countries that have no confidence that Donald Trump will do the right thing has gone completely through the roof. We're talking about a 22-point jump in just a year's time. Rough room, tough room for Donald Trump.
Tough room, even with one of our closest allies, both by
There's a two-letter word that Donald Trump hates.
All right, guys. I'm getting a little sleepy. It's only midnight. Until next time, guys. Deuces.